So, you want to own a private island. Not just visit one, own one. You picture waking up to turquoise water outside your bedroom window, a white sand beach with nobody else around, a private dock with your yacht tied up beside it, palm trees swaying in the breeze while the rest of the world feels a million miles away. No neighbors, no traffic, no noise, just complete freedom. It's one of the ultimate symbols of wealth. For many people, owning a private island is the final upgrade after buying the mansion, the supercar, and the private jet. But here's the strange part. Some private islands sell for less than an apartment in New York City. Others cost hundreds of millions of dollars. And even the cheap ones can quietly drain millions from your bank account long after you've bought them. Because when you purchase a private island, you're not really buying a beach. You're buying one of the most isolated and expensive pieces of real estate on Earth. Every bottle of water, every gallon of fuel, every bag of cement, every electrician, every doctor, every piece of furniture, every broken air conditioner has one thing in common. Someone has to bring it there, and that changes everything. Before you spend a single night watching the sunset from your own beach, you first have to buy the island itself. Surprisingly, this is where many people get fooled. Private islands exist in almost every price range imaginable. In parts of Canada, Scandinavia, and even the northeastern United States, small, undeveloped islands occasionally sell for under $100,000. At first glance, that sounds like the deal of a lifetime, an entire island for less than the price of a family home. But the low price usually tells you something important. You're not buying paradise, you're buying a project. Many inexpensive islands have no electricity, no freshwater source, no dock, no buildings, and sometimes no legal road or boat access beyond what you arrange yourself. They're beautiful from a drone. They're much less beautiful when you're trying to live on them. Now compare that to islands in places like the Bahamas, the Maldives, Fiji, or the Caribbean. The most desirable islands often sell for tens of millions of dollars. Some estates with luxury villas, private marinas, and helicopter pads have sold for well over $100 million. What changed? The sand didn't suddenly become more valuable, the infrastructure did. This is the first lesson almost nobody talks about. You're not paying for the island. You're paying for everything that makes living on that island possible. A developed private island already has roads, power systems, freshwater production, sewage treatment, staff housing, internet connections, docking facilities, and buildings that can actually withstand years of tropical weather. Replacing all of that from scratch is rarely cheaper than buying it already built. Let's say you found the perfect island. The purchase price looks reasonable. Congratulations. Now the real spending begins. Unlike buying a house in the city, a private island doesn't come connected to public infrastructure. There is no municipal water department, no electrical grid, no garbage truck showing up every Tuesday morning. You become responsible for building nearly every system yourself. Electricity usually comes first. Some islands rely entirely on diesel generators. Others combine solar panels, battery storage, and backup generators to reduce fuel costs. The problem is that generators need constant maintenance, and diesel doesn't magically appear on your island. It has to arrive by boat. If rough seas delay deliveries, you don't just postpone your vacation. You risk losing electricity altogether. Fresh water creates another challenge. Many islands have no reliable natural freshwater supply. Instead, owners install desalination plants that remove salt from seawater. These systems work remarkably well. They're also expensive to purchase, expensive to operate, and expensive to repair. If a critical component fails, replacement parts may need to be shipped internationally. What might take 2 hours to fix in a city could take 2 weeks on a remote island. Then comes waste management. Everything that goes in eventually comes out. Without municipal sewer systems, private islands need septic systems or advanced wastewater treatment facilities. Those systems require inspections, maintenance, and occasional replacement. Ignoring them isn't just unpleasant, it can contaminate the very beaches that made you buy the island in the first place. Transportation adds another layer most buyers underestimate. Imagine your refrigerator breaks. In a normal house, you drive to the nearest appliance store. On a private island, you first arrange a boat, or perhaps a barge. Then coordinate loading equipment, weather conditions, fuel availability, dock access, and unloading crews. Suddenly, replacing a household appliance becomes a logistical operation. Construction is even more complicated. Building materials don't teleport. Every piece of lumber, every steel beam, every window, every bag of concrete must cross the water before it reaches your property. That transportation alone can dramatically increase construction costs compared to building on the mainland. Then there's labor. Finding skilled workers willing to travel daily to an island is difficult. Many projects require housing crews on site for weeks or even months. You're not simply paying builders, you're feeding them, transporting them, housing them, and supporting them while they work. Those hidden costs compound quickly. And then nature enters the equation. Unlike a suburban home, your island faces the full force of the ocean every single day. Salt air quietly corrodes metal. High humidity damages electronics. Strong winds wear down roofs. Storm surges reshape beaches. Hurricanes and cyclones can undo years of construction in a matter of hours. Even routine maintenance becomes significantly more expensive simply because every repair begins with transportation. This is why experienced island owners often say something unexpected. Buying the island is usually the cheapest part. Owning it is the expensive part, and we've only covered the infrastructure. Because once your island is fully operational, another question appears. Can it actually make money? Or is it simply one of the world's most beautiful financial liabilities? The answer depends entirely on what kind of island you own. Some owners never intend to earn a single dollar. Their island is simply a private retreat, a place to escape the outside world for a few weeks each year. Others see something completely different. They see a business. One of the most common ways private islands generate income is through luxury tourism. Instead of keeping the island to themselves, owners rent it to wealthy travelers looking for an experience that no five-star hotel can truly offer. Complete privacy. A family might pay tens of thousands of dollars for a week. Celebrities, executives, and honeymooners often pay even more for exclusive access, private chefs, personal staff, and untouched beaches. On paper, the numbers look incredible. If an island rents for $40,000 a week and stays booked for 20 weeks a year, that's $800,000 in annual revenue. Sounds like a fantastic investment. But here's the part almost every new buyer overlooks. Luxury guests expect luxury service. That means full-time employees, housekeepers, groundskeepers, boat captains, maintenance technicians, private chefs, security personnel, sometimes even medical staff. Unlike a city hotel, replacing an employee isn't as simple as posting a job advertisement. Many workers have to live on the island itself. That means staff housing, food, utilities, transportation, healthcare, and ongoing management become part of the operating budget. Suddenly, you're not just owning real estate, you're running a small company. Insurance becomes another major expense. A beachfront villa sitting directly in the path of tropical storms represents far more risk than a suburban home. Coverage for hurricanes, flooding, liability, boats, docks, and expensive buildings can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars each year, depending on the property's location and value. Then there are government regulations. Many people assume buying an island means complete freedom. In reality, many islands fall under strict environmental protection laws. You may not be allowed to remove certain trees. You may need permits before extending a dock. Building additional villas could require years of environmental studies. Some islands even contain protected wildlife or coral reefs that severely limit development. In other words, owning the land doesn't always mean controlling everything that happens on it. Now here's where things get interesting. Some of the most valuable islands aren't valuable because of tourism at all. They're valuable because of privacy. For billionaires, privacy has become one of the rarest luxuries in the modern world. A private island creates a natural security barrier that no gated neighborhood can match. There are no roads leading to your front door, no unexpected visitors, no paparazzi waiting outside the gate. The ocean becomes your security system. That's one reason many ultra-wealthy individuals continue buying islands despite their enormous operating costs. They're purchasing peace of mind as much as property. But even billionaires aren't immune to bad economics. History is filled with islands that look like dream investments before becoming financial nightmares. Some ambitious developers purchased remote islands intending to build luxury resorts, only to discover that construction costs doubled because every material had to arrive by ship. Others underestimated environmental regulations and spent years waiting for permits that never arrived. A few opened beautiful resorts, just months before hurricanes caused catastrophic damage that insurance only partially covered. The island itself didn't fail. The economics did. That's the hidden pattern running through this entire business. A private island rarely becomes unprofitable because of one dramatic disaster. Instead, dozens of smaller expenses quietly pile on top of one another until the numbers simply stop working. A generator needs replacing, fuel prices rise, tourism slows. A storm damages the dock. Construction takes 6 months longer than expected. Every individual problem seems manageable. Together, they can completely change the financial picture. This is why experienced owners think differently than first-time buyers. They don't ask, how much does the island cost? They ask, how much will this island cost me every year? Because the purchase price is only the beginning. The operating costs are what determine whether the island becomes a treasured asset or an incredibly expensive burden.